Hello, internet friends. In this video, we're continuing to repurpose the crate that the fuselage shipped in and building a workbench out of it. As you can see, I've got it upright, it's supporting loads, and looks like I've screwed in the construction screws. So it's pretty reinforced by this point. Once I flipped it over, I realized the brad nails I was using was a dumb idea. That became pretty evident very quickly. So anyway, yeah, this ended up giving me a lot of workspace and storage space. So I think it'll work out nicely for building a fuselage on. We'll see. On that note, on building, so just to help you guys out, being organized is half the battle of building an airplane. So there's like 6 rivets that I need to do. That are pull rivets that finish out the riveting the elevator skins to the rib tips. I think that's what they're called. So anyway, after work and then making dinner and getting the kids all taken care of, you know, my goal is to spend an hour a day building the plane, because you know it takes 1,000 hours to build a plane, or 1,500, or whatever that number is going to be. And guess what? If you do an hour a day, then that's 1,000 days, and if you do 0 hours a day, well, then it's never going to be done, right? So, like, okay, I'm going to go out and put an hour into this plane, and I can at least do the 12 rivets that are left and get those done. And then not all that's left to do is attach the trib tab to the elevator, which involves drilling a hole and bending the hinge pin. So that's what my plan was, and guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to put the bag with the MK319 rivets somewhere I could find it. So I spent that whole hour looking for bag, what is it, 3032-1? Something like that. And of course I have a box that it should be in that it wasn't, and then I looked at my parts table and tried to find the bag, and of course that wasn't there. And so looking all around, and I figured, okay, maybe it fell on the ground. So then I had to crawl on my hands and knees and look under tables. And of course, before I did that, I went and put on knee pads, because I'm old and I need my knees. My knees still work, right? I want them to continue to work. There's people my age that have knee replacements, and I don't want to go through that anytime soon. So yeah, I put on knee pads and was crawling around on the ground trying to find this bag, and then something prompted me to get. Oh, I saw a box up on a shelf, and I thought maybe it went in there. So I got up on the ladder and I opened the box and I looked through there, and guess what was in there? All of my old Mooney parts that obviously I don't need for the RV-14. Maybe I mean, there's some machine screws in there that I might eventually use, but none of those are needed right now with riveting all this stuff together. So yeah, looked through that box and just Mooney parts in there. And then I looked over at my organizer with all the rivets, and there was the bag laying on top of that. So no way I would have seen that if I hadn't gotten up on the ladder. But anyway, just here's my advice. All the little bags that come in the subkits, just get a box and put them in there once you get them. And that's probably pretty obvious, but I'm an idiot. So just learn from me and don't make the same mistake, and then you can be a smart person and not, have to learn through pain. Learning through pain is how most people learn, and smart people, they learn through the pain of others. So that's my life lesson for today. Try not to learn through pain. So let's see. Since I've been putting out these videos every day, trying to get caught up to real time, I'm pretty much caught up on news. Although I did have a buddy text me today. There's a thread on Reddit that I did see that apparently there's they want to close Reed Hillview Airport in the Bay Area. Not they. They is in air quotes, right? A group of politicians wants to do it, probably because they want to take the land and sell it to land developers, right? Which, is a thing that happens. City encroaches on the airport. Airport used to be way outside of town, and then all of a sudden now there's a town built around. And, as humans, we have to figure out how to best use our resources. So I don't know that I have a dog in that fight, especially since I don't live in that area. That's for them to hash out for a small group of pilots that use the land. If it's worth, the actual city having the airport there or not. But the argument they're using is interesting. So, and it ties back to recent events where they're saying a study came out that said the leading cause of lead pollution in that area is the airport, which is because they use leaded fuel for the GA planes. And they're like, we need to close this now. So it's interesting because of recent events, right? Certain groups of people have taken power and closed things down in the name of health. And so I just see this continuing on and on and on, right? So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses, if they win on the merits of that argument or not. But I see a silver lining in this. Obviously, it's sad to lose the airport. But if they do manage to shut down the airport because of leaded fuel, I think that will kick the FAA right in the seat of their pants to come up with a certified unleaded fuel. And I know there's tons of engineering that has gone into that and tons of politics and blah, blah, blah. But if airports start closing because communities are using the argument that they don't want the lead in their area, and that's a legitimate, concern. It might push people to come up with a solution sooner rather than later. And lots of people have been happy to kick that can down the road in the name of safety, ironically. So anyway, that's another interesting situation to keep an eye on. In the next video, we start working on the right elevator. So back to building. I'm not lying this time. More exciting elevator action coming at you.